Amen. It is one of the most common words in a Christian's vocabulary. We say it at the end of every prayer. We hear it shouted in church services. It is so familiar that it often becomes automatic, a spiritual full stop that we say without a second thought. But what does this powerful, ancient, and holy word actually mean? And are we using it in a way that honors its true significance? The word Amen comes from a Hebrew root that means to be firm, to be trustworthy, to be certain. It is related to the word for faith. When the people of Israel would say Amen, in the Old Testament, it was not a passive way of saying the prayer is over. It was a strong, audible declaration of agreement. They were saying, yes, I agree with that. Let it be so. I stake my life on that truth. It was a personal and corporate yes to the truth of God. This is where our modern use can sometimes go wrong. In many church cultures, we are encouraged to say Amen as a sort of call and response, a way to show the preacher we are listening. While the intention might be good, it can easily become a mindless habit. We say Amen to a point we have not even thought about, turning a powerful word of personal agreement into a cheap form of applause. It loses its meaning and becomes just a piece of religious noise. But the most radical use of this word comes from Jesus himself. In the Gospel of John, Jesus repeatedly begins his most important statements with the phrase, Amen, Amen, I say to you, which is often translated as truly. Truly, this was shocking. In Jewish culture, you would quote another rabbi or a prophet to give your words authority. You would say, as Isaiah said, Jesus does the opposite. By saying Amen at the beginning of his statements, he was essentially saying, I am the authority. What I am about to say is true because I am the one saying it. He was claiming to be the ultimate source of truth itself. In fact, in Revelation chapter 3, Jesus is given the title, the Amen, the faithful and true witness. Jesus is God's great yes to humanity. So, how do we reclaim the power of this word? First, use it with intention at the end of prayer. When you say Amen, do not just mean goodbye, God. Mean it in its truest sense, Father. I have spoken my heart, and I now stand in firm agreement with your will. Let it be so. Second, use it discerningly in worship. Before you shout Amen in response to a sermon, pause and ask your heart, do I truly, deeply agree with that biblical truth? Am I willing to stake my life on it? This makes our corporate worship more mindful and meaningful. Amen is not a weak word. It is a warrior's cry. It is the declaration of a heart that stands firm on the truth of God. Let's rescue it from mindless repetition and restore it to its rightful place as one of the most powerful words we can speak. May your Amen today be full of faith, conviction, and power.